The day slipped by faster than Talia expected. She and Jisoo moved through Seoul like they had been doing it for years, laughing at street performers, sharing warm snacks wrapped in paper, pointing out little details the other would have missed. Somehow the chilly air didn't feel cold anymore. Every time she glanced at him, she found him already looking at her. It felt unreal, like she had stepped inside a dream she didn't want to wake up from. It was only supposed to be a short visit, just a tiny 3-day cultural and language workshop for beginners, something she signed up for on a whim after seeing an ad online. She'd told herself it would be good for her, something new, something small. A little reset before going back to real life. But nothing about this trip had been small. Especially not him. As the sun began to sink behind the tall buildings, the warmth of their day shifted into something quieter, something that sat gently in her chest but pressed at the edges. Reality. Her flight home was tomorrow. And she still hadn't told him. They walked slowly along the riverbank, the city lights starting to glow across the water. People passed them, laughing, holding hands, living in their own worlds. But Talia felt like hers was shrinking, down to this moment, this man, this day she wished she could hold on to forever. Jisoo looked over at her, noticing the silence that had settled between them. "You're thinking very hard," he said softly. She tried to smile. "I have to tell you something." His expression shifted. Not scared, just attentive, like he was giving her all the space she needed. "My trip," she swallowed. "It's ending. I'm leaving tomorrow." The words hit the air like frost. For a moment, he didn't say anything. Then he exhaled slowly, looking out at the water. Not angry. Not surprised. Just, trying to accept something that hurt more than he expected. "I knew it was soon," he finally said, "but I hoped, maybe we had more time." Her chest squeezed. They stood there, two people from different worlds, bound by something fragile and new, something neither of them had asked for, but both of them felt. "Talia," he said, turning to her again. "I'm glad I met you. I'm glad you got lost." The gentle smile that followed almost broke her. She blinked fast, fighting the sting in her eyes. "I don't want to forget this," she said quietly. "You won't," he replied. "And maybe this doesn't have to be the end." Her breath caught. He wasn't promising anything impossible. He wasn't offering a fairy tale. Just something real. Something honest. Something that felt like hope. He reached out, not to grab her hand, but simply to brush her fingers lightly with his. A touch so soft it felt like a question. She let her hand turn into his. That was her answer. They walked back to the station together, slower this time, as if each step was carving a memory into the ground. When they finally reached the entrance, Talia paused, taking in every detail, the streetlights, the sound of the trains, the warmth of his hand. She didn't want to forget any of it. Jisoo looked down at her, eyes warm but tinged with a kind of sadness that made her heart twist. "Text me when you arrive," he said. "I will," she whispered. Neither moved. Because saying goodbye, really goodbye, felt impossible. But eventually, she took a step back. Then another. And he let her, even though every part of his face showed he didn't want to. When she finally turned to leave, he called her name one more time. "Talia." She looked back. "Don't disappear," he said gently. She smiled, small and aching. "I won't." And then she walked into the station. The doors closed behind her. Outside, Jisoo stayed there a while, hands in his pockets, breath in the cold, watching the entrance like she might walk back out. Inside the train, Talia rested her forehead against the window. The city lights rushed past her, blurry but beautiful, and she let herself feel everything, loss, gratitude, and something warm she didn't have a name for yet. 3 days in Seoul. 3 days that changed something in her. Something she couldn't undo. Something she didn't want to. She didn't know what would happen next. But she knew this. She would come back. Somehow. Some way. If you've loved Season 1 of Lost in Seoul, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit your notification bell, because Season 2 begins the moment Talia lands home, and you do not want to miss what happens next.